My camera's doing that thing where it has a mind of its own, but we're gonna do it. Oh no. What's up, guys? Happy Tuesday. It feels like a Monday, but it is in fact Tuesday. What a weekend, man. I yesterday I was like, dude, we gotta get an off day, man. It felt like 2 weeks straight of just non-stop work prepping for the NFL season, coding spreadsheets, making a new website, content every day, content on content. And yesterday I was just like, dude, burnout's gonna hit you. So yesterday we stayed on the VIP side, so there was no live stream. So I do appreciate you guys that always hit me up whenever we don't have a live stream. Like, yo, Gun, what are we doing? We're not streaming. Sometimes it has a day off. Today we're back and a little later than we wanted to, so we might have to expedite a couple of things, but plenty of baseball on the docket tonight. We'll be chopping up each game. We'll try and go faster than usual because of the late start, and then we should be back on normal 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. schedule tomorrow. Then no baseball stream Thursday, more than likely. I feel like we're not going to have any more Thursday streams with football back. Then Friday on this channel, Saturday on Osmo. Then, of course, we'll have NFL just scattered throughout the next couple days. So there's going to be plenty of content to come. We are a little less than a month away from the NBA coming back. So, man, oh, man. I definitely got to do a better day about getting me some days, better words, better job of getting me some days off, man. I'd love to get at least one, but 2 would be great, right? Anyway, how we doing, Seth? You guys doing all right? What up, dang lazy mofo? What up, mouse? Mouse in the house. Yeah. You guys make it out all right on football? Football is a little rocky for me. Like I did all right on the showdowns, and then the actual main slate on week 1 whipped your butt. And I tell you what, in NFL, when you gotta hold L's, you gotta hold them for a week, and they sting even more than usual. But when it's week 1 and you spent what feels like forever getting ready for week 1, I feel like that L stings just a little bit more. So a lot of bad beats out there over the weekend. A couple of injuries, a couple of Aaron Rodgers getting absolute silenced by the Bucks. I got hit with a couple of that. So looking forward to the bounce back on week 2. But before we get to week 2, we've got baseball tonight, and this is a pretty large slate with a lot of pitching options through and through. So hopefully we can navigate our way through this slate, come up with a bunch of pitchers to hang our hat on. We got Garrett Cole on the bump, Lucas Giolito, Frankie Montas, Jose Barrios, Nathan Eovaldi. There's plenty of viable pitching at the top end, and that's what I like to see. I like to see some safety at pitching, and then it'll allow me to kind of create a pretty solid core, because the finding stacks is easy, right? It's the pitching that separates the men from the boys here. Hello, Mia Moore. C-Dot turned 10 into 100 on PrizePicks last night. Overtime saving. Man, that game was nuts, right? It started off as like the most boring John Gruden game ever, and sloppy play, and then eventually the sloppy play turned into an entertainment value, where we thought the Raiders won, and it turned out they didn't, and then went to overtime, and then they turned it over, and then it was good. It was good. Entertainment wise, maybe the Giants and the football team can surprise us. Hello, Mia Moore. Guys, I don't know how I managed. I set an alarm for 12:30 today. Yeah, let me get up. That'll give me plenty of time to prep the sheet, go live, blah blah blah. And I looked down at my 12:30 a.m. I was like, oh, that's not what you want. So midnight tonight, I'm sure my clock will start ringing. Yeah, let's get into it. We're gonna try to do this as fast as possible. We're 5 minutes over the start time, so how many games do we got that I said? We got a lot of effing games. We got 12 games on the docket. So is there a way I can get 12 games done within an hour and get you guys on your way and head over to the rundfs.com VIP board, which, by the way, if you guys are not part of the new rundfs.com, we did create a new website. Tonight I'll be getting the week 2 NFL spreadsheet going, but we also have the baseball spreadsheet, all that good stuff. So make sure you go to rundfs.com. Join the premium side of the house. Rip Norm Macdonald. Yeah, Norm Macdonald, man, that's one of my favorite comedians. Oh, that one hit me. I didn't know he was struggling with cancer, but I loved his brand of comedy. Slow, dry comedy, and he always had this smirk when he was setting you up for the punchline or whatever. Oh, I loved him. So I probably have to go through and watch some Norm Macdonald celebrate his leg. Imagine not using 24-hour format 2021. Dude, I used to be on military time back in my prison days, right? But I don't know does iPhones do that? Because I'd gladly do military time. I don't know. A weird time to get iPhones. I'll look at that. But yeah, I'm well averse to military time. All right, let's get cranked up, guys. We got to do a little bit of work here. DraftKings, like I said, plenty of high-end pitching today. A couple guys maybe in the mids that you could take some shots on. And we're going to go game by game here and break it all down. We got a couple of confirmed lineups. Hopefully we'll get more as we go through. If you guys have already done a little bit of research, feel free to share your notes with the class. Tell me who you're on, who you're not on, batters you might like from each game. Let's get it popping. Jesus Luzardo up against Eric Fetty, Marlins and the Nationals. We got an implied run total of 4 for the Marlins, 4.6 for the Nationals. Just kind of an unremarkable game, right? Not a whole lot of implied runs and not a whole lot of pitching to like. However, the Marlins have become a team that with this lineup, you have to start considering some weird names. Look at these strikeout rates: 26, 27, 29, 28, 40. Like, this is a ridiculous cumulative strikeout rate. And you might see some average pitchers have some way above average games. Is Eric Fetty one of those guys? I'm going to lean towards the no side just because Fetty is just really bad. And I really don't want to have a slate with Giolito and Garrett Cole and guys like that and end up putting my bankroll on Eric Fetty here. Eric Fetty with a 4.46 xFIP to lefties, 3.75 to righties. I would say if this Marlins lineup was a little bit more righty heavy with these strikeout rates, I'd bank on his 1 in 4K rate. But this is a pretty lefty to righty lineup. It's pretty split even, right? Jazz Chisholm, Jesus Sanchez, Lewin Diaz, Isan Diaz, Eddie Alvarez, I guess the pitcher spot. So half of it's lefty. And if we look at his lefty splits, 18% K rate, 2 lefties, 4.46 xFIP, like I said. It's just, I don't know. I don't really want to bank on the strikeout. And his swing and strike rate is just 8.6%. So on a different day with a more average pitcher that has more average strikeout rates, I'd probably be in on Fetty. And I don't want to get anyone off of Fetty if you were on him. I definitely think this matchup warrants making that decision whether or not you want to pitch against this lineup, because it is a very bad lineup. Could Fetty shock us? Maybe. I think Fetty's had a couple of very DFS relevant games in his last 10, but then there's many that were not, right? -3, 7. If you get into this 30, which happens to be against this Miami team, man, maybe, right? 10 strikeouts, maybe that's your vote of confidence here. That game was in Miami. This game's in Washington, so the park does downgrade a little bit. I don't know, man. I'm on the fence. If you guys are on Fetty, let me know. I might get to just like a smidge, right? Could I cap him at 10%? If he came in low enough owned, I don't know that he would in this spot. Maybe some point chasers, but the matchup is pure as it gets. Jesus Luzardo, I'm probably gonna stay on the wait and see approach on him still, and still want to pick on him. Lane Thomas kind of sticks out. If we focus on Luzardo's righty splits, a 5.42 xFIP, just a 21% K rate to righties, a 283 average allowed, and almost a 2.5 home run per 9 to righties. So sets up well for a guy like Lane Thomas, who's so far so good against lefties. He's pretty cheap on both sites. Fanduel just 300 above the min. Josh Bell, if you turn him around to the right side, and Ryan Zimmerman looks like a pretty solid shot at value, especially on FanDuel at 2K. So a couple bats here I would cherry pick from the Nationals, but the two run totals for these teams and just the averageness all the way around, I'm probably gonna stay away from full stacking, but I definitely wouldn't mind a couple bats from the Nats. I wouldn't think you're crazy to get to some Fetty. Maybe I'll meditate on it a little bit, come back to some Fetty. I don't think I get to Jesus Luzardo though. What up, Tyler? What up, Earth to Air? What up, Sean? Fetty Watt, let's go. They do use it on your iPhone. I might have to set it up that way because that'll be a lot less confusing for me. It's not even confusing. It's just the 12, right? Every now and then I do that. At 12 p.m., I do 12 a.m. Cubs at the Phillies. What? Skip the game. Maybe not. All right, I just have it backwards. Cubs at the Phillies. We got Adrian Sampson taking on Kyle Gibson. Cubs lineup did come out. It's Rafael Ortega, Frank Schwindel, Ian Happ, Wilson Contreras, Patrick Wisdom, Alfonso Rivas, David Boat, and Sergio Alcantara. That is a confirmed lineup. So if we look at the pitching matchup, we got Adrian Sampson taking on Kyle Gibson. Wind blowing out the center, 8 miles an hour. Nothing too staggering. Another completely average matchup of pitching, and the hitters are a little bit more a little better chance for the Phillies to be a high-end hitting crew today. They have an implied run total of 5.4. We know that the Cubs pitching has been really bad. If we focus on Adrian Sampson, he's allowed a 4.74 xFIP to righties, a 4+ xFIP to lefties, a 300 plus average to lefties, and an elevated home run per nine to both sides of the plate over two. Just 16 innings of sample size. However, if we go back to 2019, in 120 plus innings of sample size, he boasted a near 3 overall home run per nine, and the xFIP was 5.5. So even if he is that pitcher from 2 years ago, he was really doggone bad. So I'm willing to believe in the splits being really poor for both sides, especially the splits here against lefties. 300 average, 2.3 home run per nine. Odubel Herrera, Bryce Harper, Brad Miller, Didi Gregorius all line up really, really, really well. And then I don't mind a little bit of a chip in a chair on the righties to fill out this stack, because if the stack hits, it's probably going to get Sampson out of the game pretty quickly, and then everyone's in play. So the splits do favor the lefties, but it's not like it's bad against the righties. The 200 average allowed to righties seems a little bit unsustainable due to his xFIP, but at least against lefties, the batted ball data is rising the ball, right? That 50% ground ball rate, 25% hard contact rate so far to righties isn't great, but against lefties, all that coming up. So I'm focusing on the lefties first from the Phillies, but I don't mind filling out the stack with the Seguros, the McCutchens, guys like that, as we get into more than 20, 50 lineups. No JT Realmuto. We got Andrew Knapp catching. On the Cubs side, Kyle Gibson has regressed mightily since leaving Texas. A 4.58 xFIP to lefties, 4+ to righties, has held righties to a low average and a low home run per nine. He is still keeping the ball on the ground. Cubs not really a team that you want to get behind, especially on a bigger slate like this. If I wanted to grab a couple bats, Frank Schwindel and Rafael Ortega hit for a great average, and Schwindel hits for a great average plus ISO with a 912 OPS, low K rate. So he might be one guy I might sprinkle into the mix here. Kyle Gibson being a low swing and strike rate guy, a sub 10%, a 20% K rate. You might chip in a chair Patrick Wisdom whenever you can neutralize his 40% K rate. You could tap into his extreme power, a 4+ rating on the bomb detector today. But I'm not going to get too crazy with Cubs exposure today, but I don't mind cherry picking a couple guys. They fall into the mix. But you can give me some Philly stacks. Normally, I wouldn't hate taking some shots at pitchers against the Cubs, but Kyle Gibson doesn't really do that for me. High xFIP, low K rates, low swing and strike rates. I think I'll just be chilling with some of the more upper echelon type of plays. What up, Dan T? You doing all right? Wait until Gunn finds out how popular Fetty may be. I understand why Fetty might be, but I guess the more popular Eric Fetty is, like, the less I like him, right? Fetty, but I understand the matchup for sure. But if I get different because I'm making Garrett Cole, Lucas Giolito line, so I'm just a different mother effer, huh? Let's move on to the next game. Orioles hosting the Yankees. Yankees just been dominating teams, right? Man, what a win against the Twins yesterday. We got Garrett Cole taking on Alexander Wells. Alexander Wells is a left-handed pitcher. The Yankees have a 6.3 run total right now. I don't have any information on Wells. So, first of all, let me make sure that I'm typing his name right. Okay. And then I guess we would dig into some of his minor stuff. I think it's very easy to just kind of be lazy here and assume that he's not a great pitcher because he's a Baltimore Orioles pitcher. In the minors, he has a 3.29 ERA. That's pretty good. Sub 1 home run per nine. The walk is great. Actually, it looks pretty good if I'm looking at his overall metrics from the AAA season this year. Coming into the majors, though, 22 innings of sample size. Why didn't I have that? Why didn't that populate? 8 innings against lefties, a 233 average, but 14 innings against righties, 362 average with 4 homers allowed, 5 doubles. That's, let me see if he has a little hint of a righty power problem in the minors, if it'll even give me the minors. Sometimes it's been giving me the major league. How do you jam in all the? How do you not jam in all the call? Yeah, Cole and Giolito seem to be my favorite. I guess it's fair to be a little bit skeptic on those two, but I think Cole. I hate to be a narrative guy. I think this is definitely a spot where Cole wants to right the ship with a little bit of rest here. 22 or 32 innings against righties in the minors, 3 homers, a 260 average. So the power, it's still close to a 1 homer per 9 there. 27 strikeouts, so he's been a contact pitcher, 260 average. The numbers aren't that bad for an Orioles pitcher, but his big league stint so far has not been great. And a lot of times you see that the transition from minor league numbers to the majors is not often 1-to-1, especially not when you first get started. So I'm willing to trust Vegas here and just kind of spray and pray the Yankees offense. Obvious bats against lefties are obvious. We don't have a confirmed lineup yet, but you're probably going to see Stanton, Judge in the top of the lineup, probably top 4. You might get one of like Rizzo or Gallo batting second, maybe even Gardner. Like I do think they break it up to where there's a lefty in the top 3. But other than that, I think this lineup should be the full send. Let's get a win and let's stop losing lineup. We saw Gleyber Torres move to second base, and then the expectation is that Gio Urshela would play shortstop with Tyler Wade, DJ LeMahieu being able to play third base. So kind of look out for that. Garrett Cole, man, he's the guy, right? He had a start off after pulling up tight with his hamstring, but prior to that little issue, and even in that game against Toronto, gave up 2 earnings, 3 total. But some of those earned runs came by happenstance. I think there was an easy tailor-made double play ball that DJ LeMahieu just booted, and then somewhere in the mix of that, Garrett Cole's hamstring pulled up tight, and it's the Toronto Blue Jays offense. So I'm willing to just like ignore all of this nonsense. And it's only been 7 days since that start, so it's not like he missed a full turn anyway. Prior to that, we saw him get to 100 plus, almost 120 pitches in the last couple games. This is a guy that has a lot to throw bullets for today, trying to right the ship on this Yankees team, trying to get back into a safe wild card spot. So you got to win these Orioles games, and Garrett Cole's got to be the guy that leads it all. If you did want to bet on the absolute implosion of the Yankees, Cedric Mullins, Anthony Santander, Trey Mancini, even Ryan Mountcastle, these are guys I wouldn't mind throwing into a what the heck stack behind Garrett Cole. If Garrett Cole can't give you those 7 strong innings, that bullpen is very, very flimsy right now as they wait for Loaizica to get better. There's a lot of lefties in the bullpen: Lucas Licky, Wandy Peralta, Joely Rodriguez, Aroldis Chapman. So if you like the potential chance of Cole not going deep, getting into those string of lefties, I guess Chad Green would be the major righty. Clay Holmes, the major righty that would be available. Let me double check bullpen. See who actually front end. Yesterday was a weird. So yesterday we saw Chapman throw 20. Chapman will likely never go three games in 4 days. So I would imagine Chapman's completely unavailable today. Andrew Heaney probably doesn't pitch. Maybe you get a Clay Holmes. Yeah, so you probably see all these lefties if Cole can't go deep. Vicky, Peralta, Joely Rodriguez. So if you wanted to play that narrative on a big slate, go for it. Or that potential range of outcome, go for it. But I'm leaning more towards the Cole side, but understand might be a little bit of bias, right? Nothing in chat. All right, let's move on to the next game. Blue Jays hosting the Tampa Bay Rays. We do have confirmed lineups for both offenses here. Rays, Brandon Lau, Austin Meadows, Nelson Cruz, G-Man Choi, Randy Arozarena, Joey Wendell. Yandy Diaz is batting 7th. Manuel Margot is batting 8th. Mike is batting 9th. And then on the Blue Jays side, Jose Barrios taking the bump. We got Springer, Semien, Vladdy Jr., Bo Bichette, Teoscar Hernandez, Corey Dickerson, Lourdes Gurriel, Ravik, Valera, and Reese McGuire. So Blue Jays have absolutely been the hottest offense in all of baseball. Rays are coasting into the playoffs. But you got to believe that hey, they don't want to see the Blue Jays in the playoffs, right? So come out here and play some good baseball. Yesterday, Blue Jays were able to stay hot, continue to put up run after run. They're looking to Rasmussen to start this game from them on the bump, and hopefully cool off this team out there in the Rogers Center. Rasmussen last couple games, 5 innings, not really getting over the 70 pitch threshold his last 2 starts against also division rivals. He hasn't allowed more than 1 earned run in his starts yet, so maybe that's a good omen, a good vote of confidence. He's 6,500. I'm not pitching anyone against the Blue Jays, especially on a 70 pitch count, but maybe they can cut this game in half against the Blue Jays and hold their own. Blue Jays have a 4.9 implied run total, raised at 4.2. Barrios might be able to curtain call what Manoah was able to do yesterday. Really strong game out of him. Barrios has about a 1-4 K rate to both sides of the plate collectively. I can't really look at his home road splits with confidence because of the trade. But if we look at this Rays lineup, Lau, Cruz, G-Man Choi, Rosarena, and Zunino all have elevated strikeout rates, nearly a 1-4 plus. The other half is going to cost you a little bit more pitches to get through. 9,800 for Barrios. Definitely not going to be at the top end of my pitching pool, but I don't think I would have 0. There's definitely a range of outcomes where he gets to 20 plus. I'm more likely to lean Montes, Giolito, Cole, guys like that. But I feel like Barrios does make the back end of my pitching pool as a guy that maybe I can put at a cap of 15%. If he falls into a mix, he falls into the mix. 24 plus in 3 games straight. And I guess outside of Detroit, Oakland and New York, right? Menacing offenses. Oakland also not really a big strikeout team. So might be able to bet on him to do well today, but I don't have to get crazy with it. I won't get crazy with it. I don't imagine he's going to be high owned anyway. If we wanted to pick on him, Barrios does allow some power to lefties, so maybe Brandon Lau, Austin Meadows batting back to back could be a problem. G-Man Choi is 3,500 in the cleanup spot. Could be some perceived value on that if Barrios is not sharp. We've definitely seen him have some of those games where he's able to struggle. If you want to stack the Blue Jays, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's going to cost you. Springer's about 5K. Semien and Vladdy are going to cost you about 6K per. 5,200 on Bo Bichette. And then 4,700 on Teoscar, Mr. Grand Slam himself. I think I read that he had 4 Grand Slams this year. How insane is that, if true? It might have been Gurriel. One of those two. Teoscar or Gurriel. One of those two have 4 Grand Slams. There are some cheap ways to get exposure to the Blue Jays lineup. Corey Dickerson, Rasmussen doesn't really have a big gap of power deficiency, right? Like there's not a lot of power allowed to either side of the plate. But with the Blue Jays right now, you're just kind of banking on talent. So I don't mind getting to them. I'm curious to see where that stack is projected in terms of ownership, right? Gunn might really be saying, I hate Austin. Listen here, buddy. Was Austin in the starting lineup, or is not out yet, huh? I do hate Austin. I think Austin Hayes did homer on Garrett Cole a couple games back. I feel like that's true because I'm pretty sure I did. Maybe it wasn't Garrett Cole. Maybe one of the. Yeah, it had to be just. But I remember not liking. Move on to the next game. Cardinals at the Mets. Jake Woodford taking on Marcus Strowman. We do have a confirmed Cardinals lineup. We're still waiting on that Mets lineup. Tommy Edman, Paul Goldschmidt, Tyler O'Neill, Nolan Arenado, Yadi Molina, Dylan Carlson, Edmundo Sosa, killer of first base umpires, and Harrison Bader batting 8th. Strowman, is he a viable play today? 9,300. Going to bring up the rear of all those 9K pitchers at best, right? K rates is really, really low, but XFIP is under 4 to both sides of the plate. If we isolate his righty splits against a pretty righty dominant Cardinals lineup, does have just under a 1-4 K rate, 2 righties, and keeping the ball on the ground at an elite clip, 47% ground ball rate. Our contact rates below league average, the line drive rates low, and he's throwing strikes. So if I wanted to roster Strowman. I'm hoping for a little less than a strikeout per inning, but I'm hoping for innings, right? 6-7 innings. So I like with that thought process, I think there is a viable range of outcomes for him to get me that 6+ innings. He's gotten 7 innings his last couple starts, just a 5 in the middle there against Washington. But in those games, 20+ DKP. Normally, I don't, at 9K, I want a shot at 30, but in the grand scheme of variance in terms of baseball, I think any pitcher that gets you 20+ usually gives you a chip in a chair to be able to win a tournament. So I do think if you think Strowman has a shot to give you 20+, maybe put him in the back end of your multi-mass entry player pool. That's kind of where I'm at, right? We're not running to grab Cardinals bats against a ground ball pitcher, so maybe Strowman does eat innings for us. Maybe he becomes a little bit more valuable on Fanduel. It's kind of why I liked Wainwright yesterday. If you give me a guy that can give me 6+ consistently, give me a shot at that quality start for Fanduel, and maybe scoop a win and give me 4 or 5 strikeouts in 6-7 innings. I'm there for it. Grab a K on the pitcher. Harrison Bader, Dylan Carlson, and Tyler O'Neill are probably going to be the more likely strikeouts in this lineup for Strowman. So those are 3 names to keep an eye on if you did want to pick on him. And then, we don't expect a lot of power given up. So I'm kind of off. I'm off the Cardinals here. Cardinals implied run total of just 3.5. I mean, that's almost as low as it gets for baseball. So metric like real life sense, right? Real baseball sense. Strowman looks like he's in a good spot. So maybe I put him in a poll, cap him at 10. Okay. Sorry. All right, we're going quick here. We started late. We got to make up some time. Next game, Braves hosting the Rockies. John Gray taking on Touki Toussaint. Both lineups are confirmed. John Gray on the road this year, 4.29 xFIP, 22.4% K rate, 287 average allowed. The underlying batted ball data is pretty solid, 45% ground ball rate, 34% hard contact rate. The pushback here is the Atlanta Braves. I do like this offense, especially at home. And I do think they have a shot at putting up some runs. They have an implied run total of 5 right now. Ozzie Albies, Soler, Freddie Freeman, Austin Riley, Duvall. That 1 through 5 is about my favorite ways to get exposure to the Braves. But every now and then, I wouldn't mind, Darno in the catcher spot. Swanson, even Eddie Rosario. I mean, 1 through 8, this is a very stackable team. There's plenty of green in the ISO column, 200+ through and through. Only the catcher, Darno, and Dansby Swanson was sub 200, and Dansby Swanson's at a 195 since the beginning of last year, ISO against righties. There are some strikeouts to be had here. So if you want to tempt fate, John Gray is a guy that can get you some strikeouts, more so against righties than lefties, but there are more righties in this Braves lineups than lefties, so maybe you tap into that. I don't feel like I've seen Gray's name a bit this season, so I'm going to double check his pitch count lately. 87 on September 8th after about 48 to 80. So we probably expect 80, 90, maybe 100 pitches from him. So full chamber of bullets. So I don't think I'm going to get to Gray here, but I will say 8,300 as you take him out of cores here. There is some strikeout propensity that, like, I wouldn't think you're crazy to have him in your mix. I don't think I'm going to put him in my pool. Touki Toussaint, you get Touki against one of the worst road teams in baseball. I get it. They have a 76 WRC plus against righties season. I definitely get that too. I also get that Touki Toussaint is not the most comfortable pitcher to put in your lineup. I think this is the ultimate tournament spot. I will probably have some in my pool, cap him at 15%, tier 3 him, but he's just not been going deep. 60, 46, 12 pitches the last couple outings, including at Coors. The Giants, #1 team in baseball, and then Washington, not really an excuse for that. 4 walks, just completely lost the zone. So very volatile pitcher with a wide range of outcomes, but at the very least you could say it is the Rockies on the road. They do have plenty of strikeouts in this lineup, and Touki Toussaint, at least against righties, a 3.56 xFIP so far, a 1-4 K rate, a 7% walk rate. So it's the lefties that would get him in trouble. Raimel Tapia, Charlie Blackmon, Ryan McMahon. The 3 lefties in this lineup, Tapia and Blackmon being kind of attached, being, batting within 2 hitters of each other. McMahon's kind of on an island. So if you wanted to create a path of least resistance, it would be Tukey gets into these righties efficiently, and we're able to get that 1-4 K rate, that 50% ground ball rate, and stay away from the power and the walks to the lefty. So I don't mind Tukey being in the back end of my pitching player pool at 7,300. We're looking for 18 DKP for maybe tournament viability, maybe a little bit more. Not a high level of comfort, right? No warm and fuzzies on that one, but the matchup is the matchup, and Tukey could lean on his righty splits more than his left issues, right? Let's move on to the next game. Astros at the Rangers. What up, Kate Johnson? How late am I? You're late, but I'm late too. So if you're late and I'm late, then you're very late. About halfway through. Trying to speed run it, man. Started about 30 minutes behind the usual schedule, but it's all right though, because you can always rewind, hit the thumbs up. I'll forgive you. Zach Greinke taking on Jordan Lyles. We do have a confirmed Rangers lineup, Astros lineup TBD. Astros with a 5.4 implied run total. Yesterday is one of those rare days of the Astros where they projected well, they did well, right? Usually something has to give, whether the Astros have a high run total or you believe that they should absolutely go off and then they don't go off. Yesterday, they did their thing. You did your thing, dog. So can they curtain call against Jordan Lyles, who is as bad as they come? 5.63 xFIP to lefties, 4.41 to righties. Elevated average to both sides of the plate. A lot of power given up at home this season. A 5.05 xFIP, 16% K rate, almost a 300 average allowed, and nearly a 2 home run per 9. So you really can't even put the lid on Globe Life and expect the park to save him here. This is a really, really good spot for the Astros to continue their dominance from yesterday. A lot of extremely lime-colored green in the RunDFS.com MLB spreadsheet. A lot of 900-plus OPSs. Yordan Alvarez hit a pair of bombs yesterday. Looking like we might get some more value out of the Astros on Fanduel versus DraftKings, but both sites will still have paths to get them pretty easily. But on FanDuel, you look at these prices. Altuve's 43, Brantley's 26, Yordan Alvarez 36, Gurriel 3K, Kyle Tucker 3,400. If these guys are in the lineup, they're in a really, really good spot to pick on Jordan Lyles and then get into that bullpen. So I'm in on the Astro stack. Zach Greinke, I really, really don't like playing Zach Greinke, but I would understand if you guys wanted to take the shot. He has 4 games against the Rangers this season, averaging 11 DKP and a -7 performance in his last start against the Rangers. For me personally, I just don't like playing him because he's not a strikeout pitcher like he once was, and his typical range of outcome is something that you don't necessarily have to have a shot at tournaments, and I just feel like the risk-reward, it's not as balanced as it used to be, and he still carries some name value to where more people will likely to click his name than not, but a 4.5 xFIP to righties on this season. It's going to be a pretty righty-heavy lineup. Very low strikeout rate to both sides of the plate, sub 10% swing and strike rate, and a lot of power to righties. Matter of fact, so much power that we might see a Dallas Garcia. He's got just under a 4 rating on the bomb detector. Maybe Nick Solak. He's got a low rating on the bomb detector too. But he's definitely allowed an extreme amount of power to right-handed hitters this year. So I'm off of Greinke. I don't think I'll have a single lineup with Zach Greinke tonight, but I wouldn't push back on you guys if you felt differently. I'm just not there. Let me move on to the next game. We got the Angels at the White Sox. Do we have a lineup yet? No. Lucas Giolito taking on Packy Naughton. Giolito 10.2K on DraftKings at home this year at 4.1 xFIP, 27% K rate, a 184 home run per 9, and a 47.3% fly ball rate. It is under 70 degrees out there in Chicago. White Sox right now are a minus 270 favorite on the money line, a 5.7 implied run total for them. It's a big spot for the White Sox. They should not lose this game. My only question marks with White Sox right now are they going to bubble wrap their pitchers to where they don't have to go past 5 innings? I do think that's a real range of outcomes for a couple teams, the White Sox, the Brewers, guys like that, as we get just a couple weeks away from October baseball. Last couple starts for Lucas Giolito, 86, 93, 90 pitches. I would assume 90 to 100. It's still possible, and I can't really make lineups based on uncertainty, but it is something lingering in the back of my head is whether or not they have the leash off of their starters here. Matchup wise, it doesn't get better than the Angels. Maybe the Marlins would be the only spot that projects a little bit better in terms of strikeout propensity. But man, is this Angels lineup just, oh my God, 1 in 4 K rates through and through. Only Luis Rengifo and David Fletcher have a sub 24% K rate, and Fletcher's the only guy that has the ability to be a contact scrappy guy. Everyone else, even Shohei Ohtani, will strike out with the best of them. So Giolito at about 10K on both sides is a very, very viable play. Should be trendy as one of the higher owned pitchers on the slate. A 15.4% swing and strike rate on the season. That's what you want. Everything is in line for Giolito to absolutely smash. Packy Naughton is on the bump for the Angels. So far this year, a contact pitcher. He's been on the right side of home runs, hasn't allowed a bomb yet. 50+% ground ball rate to both sides of the plate. Has lost the zone against righties to 15% walk rate to righties and a 27.6% line drive rate. So I do think the White Sox could cash in on this near 6 implied run total, and we like a lot of these White Sox against lefties. Tim Anderson, Luis Robert, Jose Abreu, Eloy Jimenez, Yasmani Grandal. There's not a single White Sox that I wouldn't introduce into my player pool, and from a stack standpoint, for their run total to be as high as it is, the prices are very, very low. Only Yasmani Grandal exceeds 5K on DraftKings. Everyone else, very easy to obtain in the 4Ks. And this might be a stack that isn't hard to like get a Cole, Giolito. You put Cole and Giolito, you get 36 per. If you completely punt 2 positions, right, you get 2K punts, 1 outfielder, 1 2K catcher, something like that. You know, we could walk that back on Grandal. But you're already getting almost 42 per position with 2 punts and 2 high-end pitchers. So I think the White Sox are one of the more obtainable stacks with upside with the double-barreled aces at your pitching position in your lineup. So look for that build to kind of become trendy in single entry. And then Shohei Ohtani, can you play him? 6,400. Yeah, he's always in play. Maybe look to get back his home run lead over Vladdy Jr. after yesterday. But 6,400, I will be very likely low on Ohtani at that price point, and he would be my only exposure to this Angels team. Yes, Giolito has allowed power to righties. There's really not a righty on this lineup that I would get behind for power. Justin Upton had a random start. Is he hurt? No, he hasn't been. Might be on IL. Upton would be like the only power bat I would have really looked at. But against lefties, Giolito's holding left-handed hitters under a 1 home run per 9. So I'm probably Ohtani might be in the pool, but if I had no Ohtani, then it, right at 6K, you borderline need a homer at 6K, right? Royals hosting the Athletics. Next game on the docket. Jackson Coward taking on Frankie Montas. Cowher's a guy that I think his minor league numbers looked a lot better than his major league stint so far, strikeout stuff. But I think I'm going to stay away from trying to be ahead on that because the Athletics are a team I have some respect for and do come out pretty scrappy. Frankie Montas on the bump for the Athletics at 10K. He would be one of the pitchers I target today. Royals have a couple guys that are scrappy: Whit Merrifield, Nicky Lopez, Carlos Santana. But then the more than half of their lineup has a 25% or greater strikeout rate with Isbell, Hunter Dozier, Ryan O'Hearn, Adalberto Mondesi, Salvador Perez. There's just still some strikeouts here, and Montas has an ability to go out there and get those strikeouts. And the Athletics really can't afford losing at all because they've basically been pushed out of that American League wildcard spot and almost out of contention, right? They're still hanging on to by a thread, right? 7 innings is a real outcome for Montas. 6.277 has not allowed more than 3 earned runs in 5, 6. He just has not allowed more than 3 earned runs apparently. So he's Mr. Quality Start for you Fanduel guys, and the strikeout propensity is there as well. So he seems like a rock solid floor. fantasy point upside. You get him out there in Kaufman, which is still going to be a pitcher's park, maybe not quite at the levels that the Coliseum is, but a 0.83 a grade on the home run scale, so it's 17% below league average in homers. Really good spot stadium wise for Montes to continue having strong performances. Looks like there's potential rain in this game, so maybe keep an eye on that. I don't want to play weatherman, but the Royals at a 3.9 implied run total. This is a really good spot for Montes. Montes is going to be right there in the mix as one of my higher end pitchers that I'm trying to grab. Garrett Cole, Giolito, Frankie Montes, guys like that. Jackson Kowar mentioned that his minor league numbers projected better. So I do think as he keeps building up his big league experience, he's going to get closer to that in the minors. He had 80 innings pitched, 115 strikeouts, a 1.24 whip. He was a big time strikeout guy in the minors. We haven't seen that yet, but I think it's coming. I don't want to think I can't really bank on it coming against the Athletics. They're just a really good team. But kind of keep that in your mind. If Kowar catches a slate against, say, Orioles, Angels, Marlins, something like that coming up, an average to below average team, I definitely think, if his price stays where it's at, he could surprise somebody sooner or later. But I'm not likely to take that chance today. If we wanted to stack some Athletics, go for it. 5+ implied run total. Jay Hay in that leadoff spot, 2,800 on FanDuel. Josh Harrison, very viable. And then Marte, Olsen, a lot of speed, a lot of power. Wouldn't talk you guys down off of that at all. Let's get caught up on chat. K. Johnson said, I'm scared of the White Sox outcome. They will win, but I don't know if they put up enough DFS points to be viable. I mean, I guess that's with every team, but guys, let's not forget this White Sox team has been a menace against lefties for a long time. I mean, we got 3 guys in the top of the projected lineup batting over 300, much less slugging for an insane rate. So it's probably 600 slugging, considering that they all have 220 plus ISO against lefties, OPS of 900 plus. Like, this is a really dangerous team against lefties. So I definitely think they have upside. But especially against lefties, and this bullpen's not something to run from. So, will it hit? I mean, that's baseball, but this is a huge spot for the White Sox. Devo, I'm gonna need them fire. Need the fire after them. Mike Davis and Pittsburgh. Oh my God. We're trying to wash away the NFL Week 1 stigma because it was a bad one. But I'm gonna try. Montes has been giving it to fools lately. Hard to shy away. Yeah, Montes is. F it, I'm on one. Padres at the Giants. Jake Arrieta taking on Tony Disco. Anthony Desclafani. Implied run total 5.2 for the Giants. Just 3.9 for the Padres. This is kind of where it gets weird pitching wise. It's going to be in the 50 degrees. Oh, lucky. I'm not really there on Desclafani. I think his xFIP's kind of too high to both sides of the plate. Strikeout rate's not quite where I want it to be. I wouldn't think you're crazy if you wanted to take a shot of him at home, but I just feel like he hasn't been as sharp lately as he was to start the season, and I really think there's enough power at the high end for pitching for me to not have to dabble with him. September 8, at Coors, didn't go great. At Coors, we can write that off. Then he had the Dodgers. That's what you want. Atlanta, Mets. The schedule's all over the place, but the results, there's nothing in this last 10 game log that I would feel like I have to have. Even that 26 against Washington feels expendable on this slate. I would take it at AK, but no thank you. No thank you. And then Arrieta, heck no. If we want to pick on Arrieta, we can do so with literally any. Giants clinched the playoff berth last night. Maybe they went out, had a couple extra bottles of champagne. Maybe they have that hangover game here and they don't put up a bunch of runs, but still not likely to pitch Jake Arrieta today. Matter of fact, I can guarantee you I will not be playing Jake Arrieta today. But I wanted to pick on him. Righty power, lefty power. Everybody's in play, no matter who you want. Maybe you get one of those Sunday special Giants lineups after they clinch the playoff berth, but they haven't won a division yet, right? They got to keep it going. So No reason to let your foot off the gas. The Padres are still clinging to trying to make that wild card spot. So they have every reason to come out firing. Fernando Tatis is 6K on DraftKings. Manny Machado is 5K. I just feel like those price points would be better suited to grab exposure to some of the higher end offenses. Teams like the Astros in a better spot, but I wouldn't talk you off of them. I think their talent, that little late night hammer action, could be fun bats to have in your lineups at the end of the night. But I probably won't have much exposure to the Padres. Move on to the next game. Mariners hosting the Red Sox. Red Sox, little West Coast action if you're nasty. In the 60s out there in Seattle. We got Nathan Eovaldi taking on Tyler Anderson's got tickets to the game. How'd they get tickets? Implied run total for the Mariners, 3.7. Red Sox, 4.4. Nathan Eovaldi, 9,600. Add him to the list, man. Yeah, we can do that. Eovaldi, you might be surprised at what his WAR is on the season. But he comes in as a top 6 price pitcher on this slate. You're looking for 20 plus. Yeah, you can do that. 28 against Tampa Bay Rays, 20 plus against the no-hit kids Cleveland Indians. Only 1 fantasy point in his 1 start in 5 innings against Seattle earlier this year. I'm willing to forgive and forget and realize that the Red Sox need to win just as much as anyone, and they should come out here and dice up the Mariners. Matter of fact, this game, I think this is pretty important, actually. I think the Mariners are a team that needs to win as well. So this is quasi playoff-esque baseball for the Mariners, because if they tank this series against the Red Sox, that might be all she wrote. The AL wildcard, if I'm thinking about it, I want to say it's the Mariners, Red Sox, Yankees, Blue Jays, Athletics. So all of those teams are playing with a purpose today. And this is a spot where 2 of those teams end up playing each other. So looking at that wild card race, the Yankees are in. And then, yeah, Boston and Seattle are the next 2 teams back, and then we mentioned the Athletics catch the Royals. So that's the hunt, right? So all those teams need to win. So maybe Eovaldi actually gets a inspired offense against them, but to flip that, Eovaldi's got to be playing with pitching with a purpose too. So I do like Eovaldi as a play. I do think 30 fantasy point potential is there. If this lineup comes out lefty heavy, the Mariners, like it's projected, J.P. Crawford, Kyle Seager, Abraham Toro, Jared Kelenic, Jose Marmolejos, maybe you experience a little bit more pushback, but really not. It's got about an even xFIP to both sides. So yeah, I think I play Eovaldi. He's not my favorite 9K pitcher, but I think he's in the pool for the back end. And then the Red Sox. I gotta say, the Red Sox having just a 4.4 run total feels a little light to me. Tyler Anderson, not that good. 4.5 xFIP to righties, 4.46 xFIP to lefties. With the Red Sox playing for what they're playing for, you give me Kike Hernandez, Xander Bogaerts, Shady Martinez, Hunter Renfroe, Bobby Dalbec. Like, those are all very menacing bats against left-handed pitching. And I got 3 guys right there in the thick of it. Martinez, Renfroe, and Dalbec. That's a lane of 4+ ratings on the bomb detector that I can get. So I kind of like dabbling with the over on the Red Sox, but I guess the Mariners are a team that's just better than we give them credit for, as evident by them being in the hunt for that wild spot. So some Eovaldi, no Anderson for me, and some Red Sox stacks. Yes. So we got 1 game left on the docket. Chat. Couple plugs. 1, rundfs.com if you guys want to get locked in. Daily access to the MLB VIP spreadsheet. That's what we've been using throughout the duration of the stream. The bomb detector, my personal player pool, my pitching tiers, all that stuff. It is a perk of having a premium subscription at rundfs.com. You'll also get access to all the Week 2 NFL content, starting with the showdown slate on Thursday, the NFL weekend slate, Sunday slate, and then the showdowns for Sunday night and Monday night. All that good stuff. It's a good way to support the stream, support the channel, support me, rundfs.com. Get all the spreadsheets that I'm using, that I created with my bare hands. And more importantly, get access to this bad boy, the rundfs.com premium Discord. Where in about 40 minutes, I'll be in the voice chat hanging out up until lock, making my player pool, making my stacks, my scripts, all that good stuff. You guys are very welcome to come be part of the action, come be part of the conversation. Bradley Zimmer just homered it. Know that. MLB VIP spreadsheet, or excuse me, MLB VIP Discord channel. Main event tonight. D-backs at the Dodgers. Luke Weaver taking on Tony Gonsolin. We do have that D-backs lineup in, and it is confirmed. Neither pitcher likely to make my player pool. Tony Gonsolin's a guy I think is good, but I worry about longevity in terms of single game pitch counts. What the did I just type? Tony Gonsolin. Jeez. Louise. 7,900 for Gonsolin. Last couple games, 55, 55, 81, 80. Just don't feel like we're getting the length that we would take our shot on in deep tournaments. So I'm not. With that said, I don't think he's somebody that like I pick on. I think he'll cut this game in half, and that's going to likely eliminate the D-backs from contention for me. Luke Weaver, on the other hand, on the road this season, a 4.59 xFIP, 304 average allowed, a 2.89 home run per nine. Dodgers are always in play. They have a 5.3 implied run total. The top three of this projected lineup for the Dodgers: Mookie, Max Muncy, Trey Turner, all over 5K. They deserve to be over 5K, but I think the Dodgers are self-explanatory, right? You stack them, It's 70 degrees out there in LA. The D-backs bullpen is definitely something I can pick on as well. A lot of red in their per 9+ versus the rest of the league's bullpen. So yeah, we're gonna introduce the Dodgers stack into the conversation, and with the Dodgers lineup, they might be a little late as usual. Dave Roberts might do something a little different. So maybe make sure you're vigilant on the Dodgers lineup being confirmed before you commit to the stacks and leave your computer, because you never know. Maybe Chris Taylor makes a lineup over somebody else, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe. But for the most part, give me some Dodgers. No pitching here. And that is it. That's our big slate. So chat, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, if you guys like somebody, if you were late, and you want me to revisit something, let me know. I want to remind you guys, PrizePicks.com, code Gundacker. Everyone has a PrizePicks code, so I almost feel like it's partnership is getting kind of watered out. But looking at PrizePicks, if you guys haven't been on PrizePicks, sign up using code Gundacker. They'll match your first deposit up to $100. But looking at the PrizePicks pitching props, any strikeout props that kind of stand out here. A couple guys we were on, it'd be like Giolito. Garrett Cole's at 8, that's juice to the gills. Marcus Strowman's at 5. Tuki Toussaint's at 5. Man, I don't feel like we're getting a great deal. Zach Greinke under 4.5 seems interesting to me, right? I guess the Rangers are bad, but Greinke's not a guy that goes out there and gets strikeouts. 4.5. He's gotten you over 4.5 twice in his last 10. We look at the K Factory by Control F Greinke, and I give Greinke 90 pitches in the K Factory. See what it spits back on strikeout. Greinke 90 pitches. I guess 6.4. Can't get behind that, but yikes, 4.5 feels like a little high for. We got 6 strikeouts on Montes. I kind of like dabbling with the over there. Giolito's at 7.5. I think pitchers against the freaking Angels right now, where it's at, I'd just be kind of worried about his innings limit. Starting pitchers, so DKP by, I don't know why, Gun is the MLB guru. What up, Tom? What was I going to say? Starting pitchers, DKP by game. Last 10 games. Got a few D-backs tonight. It's a late night get back. I'm with that. Longo's on a heater. Let's go. Who's your top 3 stacks and top 3 pitchers? I got you, Ken. Second. Strikeouts for last couple pitchers against the 7, 3, 6, 7, 11. Yeah, I don't feel like we're getting any deals on PrizePicks pitching K props. Eovaldi's at 6.5. So maybe I would just be focused on fantasy score today for pitchers and for hitters. I guess the bomb detector, right? If I can't find you guys a couple of K props I'm in love with, let's double check the bomb detector. See who's profiling extremely well. At the top, we got Bregman, Justin Turner. Both of those guys, I believe, homered yesterday. Bryce Harper's on the on here as well, but only 7 innings of sample size. So Bregman has a huge spot here. This is something you don't often see. Usually the top of the bomb detector is influenced by a low sample size, but we got over 315 at-bats from Bregman against righties and over 122 innings of sample size from the pitcher. So Bregman's in a big spot. So usually you won't see anyone over 8 fantasy points on PrizePicks, maybe 8.5. So let's see if Bregman's on here. Bregman's on here for 8.5, so that's as high as it gets. But if he hits a homer, he clears that. So I kind of like looking at Bregman, maybe just stacking the Astros in general, and then maybe looking at some of these top of the order White Sox as well. So, I don't feel like there's a ton of stuff catching my eye on PrizePicks. Let's get caught up, chat. Who am I stacking? Gun. So let's see, 5 stacks if I had to choose. Looking at it, Yankees obviously. By the way, I'll come back and I'm gonna update a couple of lineups that came out. But Yankees are obviously one of those stacks for me. That lineup did come out: LeMahieu, Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, Voit. That's pretty easy to get behind. 6+ run total. They might be the highest run total on the slate. Phillies are interesting. So Yankees, Phillies, Astros, White Sox. I'm probably just spitting out chalk right now. And I'm going to say Dodgers, but those would be my first 4. Yankees, Phillies, Astros, White Sox. Don't forget that free square, a.k.a. Lane Thomas. Yeah, Lane Thomas looks really good. Kate says, who's your top 3 stacks, top 3 pitchers? So top 3 pitchers would be Garrett Cole, Lucas Giolito, and then probably Frankie Montas. And again, that's your top 3 price. So what am I doing here? Why am I even here? Guys, pick the top 3 Vegas projected total. No. Let's get some lineups updated. We got some time, right? I like to get you guys out of here before Osmo goes live. And I think we did a good job of getting through all these games rather quickly. So I'm going to run back and update a couple of lineups. Again, keep firing away those questions. If you guys want to get a little bit sneakier with some of these calls, we'll go for it. All I ask, if you're here, hit that thumbs up, man. I would appreciate it. Lane Thomas, Alcides Escobar, Juan Soto, Josh Bell, Ryan Zimmerman, Carter Kieboom, Kybert Ruiz, Luis Garcia. So Nationals lineup is as projected. We mentioned Lane Thomas, 2,900 on DK, 2,300 on Fanduel, crushing lefties. Jesus Luzardo has been average at best. So when we talked about ways to get Garrett Cole and Giolito or Montas, just putting the top 2 expensive guys. I'm not going to fill out with the stacks, but Lane Thomas has to be an anchor as one of the value guys. So 2,900 will put him in the mix. Maybe we'll go value hunting here. Let's move on. What other lineups came out? Yankees lineup did come out. DJ LeMahieu, Judge, Giancarlo, not bad in third. Anthony Rizzo, Giancarlo Stanton, Luke Voit, Joey Gallo, Bieber, Gio, and Higashioka. Higgy, kind of expensive for a catcher, but just 2K on FanDuel. Orioles lineup is out. Cedric Mullins, Ryan Mountcastle, Santander, Trey Mancini, Austin Hayes batting 5th. I hate Austin. Ramon Urias, Pedro Severino, Pat Valleca, former Yankee great. I feel like he was on the Yankees for a cup of coffee. I know he's with like the Rockies, right? All right, so the bottom of the Orioles lineup actually came out a little bit different than expected, but still a ton of strikeouts. A lot of 1-4s. Cole's got to get through Mullins, Santander, Mancini, Hayes. And remember, like I said, back in Cole today is probably 3 lefties. If Cole can't go deep, Joely Rodriguez, Lucas Licky, Wandy Peralta. So if you thought that the Yankees were imploding a la Raj, I don't think there's a crazy range of scenario for him to be back up by 3 average lefties. And maybe the Orioles stack surprise us, right? Wait, did you have a whole stream without a Sean V hot take? It doesn't feel right, you know? But maybe we were a little late. Dope Heathen. Any love for Tukey? Kind of. The thing with Tukey is that his righty splits are solid. Like, I'd be willing to bet on those righty splits. And there's 3 lefties in the Rockies lineup. And lefty heavy lineups is really where Tukey just kind of collapses because his xFIP goes way up, his walk rate goes way up, 13% walk rate to lefties, almost a 6 xFIP against righties. If we just isolate that, there's enough to chip in a chair at 7,300. So if you think that Tapia and Blackman being connected isn't that big of a problem, and I think it could be because of their low strikeout rates, then I don't hate the thought of 2K getting a 20 DKP because the Rockies on the road are that bad. They have a 76 WRC plus against righties. So there's an easy path to justification. I would have to get to 50 plus lineups to really feel like giving up some equity for that isn't super risky, but like you could justify it pretty easily, I guess is the way to summarize that. Love is a strong word, but I really, really, really don't love it. Mets. Did the Mets lineup come out yet? It did not. Braves and Rockies lineup are out. We had that. Astros lineup came out. That's a big one. Altuve, Bregman's batting second, so that'll help juice up our bomb detector rating on him even more. It doesn't look like Michael Brantley's in the lineup, so that was one of our cheaper bats on Fanduel. We lose that. Gurriel, Kyle Tucker's batting sixth, a little bit of a move up. Chas McCormick batting seventh. Jose Siri, hit 2 dongs for me. Boop, boop. Hitting 2 dongs last night. Here, Siri hit 2 dongs, and one of the homers was on Alexi. So somewhere in there is a Siri Alexa joke. Hey Google. I don't know. White Sox lineup, not out. We did get an Athletics lineup. Josh Harrison, Starling Marte, Matt Olson, Jed Lowry. Batting fourth. Mark Canha, Seth Brown, Don Murphy. Wow, guys. I'll tell you what, man. I wasn't on taking a shot on Jackson Cowher. I probably still ain't. But this lineup is a little bit different than I was expecting for. No Matt Chapman in the Athletics lineup. And Chapman is, been hot lately offensively, but he's also a wall on defense. So maybe keep that in mind. Frankie Montas against anybody. He's got an elevated ground ball rate. So, not having Chapman in that corner would be interesting. Anything else pop out yet? No. All right, let's get caught up on you guys. Tavares or Lane Thomas for value? Probably Lane Thomas. I know Tavares has stolen base propensity. I don't know if Greinke used to be really good at holding runners, but also just banking on a stolen base guy is a little bit more high variance than just banking on somebody that's good. So far, Lane Thomas against righties, against lefties, really, really good. Maybe that regresses as sample size, right? He's not going to be a 380 hitter against lefties, but in the leadoff spot against a guy we know hasn't been great against righties, it's just a really good spot. So Lane Thomas for that for me in a 1v1. Put up Gus favorite Yankee against Alexander Wells. So it's hard to. It'd be Judge. It'd be Aaron Judge. I was gonna go on the stint about it's hard to because we don't really have a lot of big league sample on Wells, but Aaron Judge has just been a beast that crushes it from both sides and batting second. Massive opportunity for 5-6 at bats. And you give me 5-6 at bats of Aaron Judge, and I am gonna take it. Rocky secondary stack. You think so? I mean, the lefties for sure. McMahon, Charlie Blackmon. Raimel Tapia for what, I don't know. Doesn't feel like give me Dangler now. I can't play Montes. Too many hits going to run up his pitch count. Gonna get out the game early. What? Because of Matt Chapman? I don't know. I don't want to put anyone. But he's still a rock. He's still gonna be a good pitcher. And you take away some of the better defenders, and it's a little bit more of an impact than maybe you get credit for. Especially since you got guys like Merrifield and Mondesi that can outrun some infield singles, right? I don't know. It is a bigger hit. Matt Chapman is one of the best defensive third basemen, but Frankie Montes is Frankie Montes. Don't overthink it. We're still taking shots on Montes here. I still have Giolito and Cole above him. I just was thinking out loud, man. I don't want to scare. All my outfielders on FanDuel are under 2.5K. Then Harper and the util. Let's look at the bomb detector for outfield. Guys, I like to tweet out the bomb detector somewhere between 30 minutes before lock. If you guys are on Twitter, you want to hit me with that young follow, you heard. Twitter.com/Gundecker. So you guys can get at me. Bryce Harper is number 3 on the bomb detector, but it's only based on 7.2 innings of sample size from the opposing pitcher. So that is enough to say that sample size kind of scares me. Adrian Sampson, however, if we go back to his 2019 campaign, gave up homers to lefties at a decent click, and still Bryce Harper. So yeah, Bryce Harper's fine, but I usually don't like to get too attached to low sample size bomb detector ratings. Stack the Jays, make money. Oh God, Blue Jays getting hot at the wrong time. Wrong time. But they are on fire. I will not agree with Rod. So guys, remember any good things I said about the Blue Jays? Take them back. Mets lineup came out. Jonathan VR, Francisco Lindor, Michael Conforto, Peter Alonso, Javi Baez, Jeff McNeil, Kevin Pillar, James or Tomas Nido. Catching? Has Nido always been a catcher, or am I tripping? I guess he has. I feel like he. Is that Nate like? All right, so that's your confirmed Mets lineup, and that's it. We're waiting on the Angels, White Sox. I am waiting on the White Sox because they're a team I want to stack. The Dodgers would be kind of the same, and I guess the Red Sox. So hopefully all those lineups come out pretty soon. Otherwise, chat tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. We will be back at it, chopping up the slate for tomorrow. Look for some NFL content for the showdown slate on Thursday. The football team and the Giants, that should be coming soon. And then more NFL content for the weekend. I will be working on the Week 2 NFL spreadsheet tonight. So if you guys are in the VIP spectrum at rundfs.com, look out for that. It will be kind of put into the Discord and then also in the VIP portal. Otherwise, I'll be in the rundfs.com MLB VIP voice chat in about 20 minutes leading up to lock, shooting a breeze, cursing out Raj. You guys open up the Discord right below MLB, click MLB voice chat. We'll be there. You ain't gotta talk. You can grab a mic if you want to. Just listen in. A little bit informal, a little fraternal, but we have fun. We like to have fun here. I hope you guys crush it tonight. Be sure to hit me with those screenshots on Twitter. Josh, Giants got wasted last night. Could they throw out a bad lineup? Yeah, Josh, I actually said that a little earlier. Clinching a playoff berth last night. Maybe they celebrated. They haven't won a division yet. Maybe don't celebrate that too much, but could absolutely see the hangover lineup tonight. And maybe it looks a little funky, right? I appreciate you guys as always, man. I hope you crush it tonight. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money.